The transformative power of prolonged dry fasting and brisket signaling. What if I told you that the most powerful thing you could do for your health is nothing at all? No supplements, no expensive protocols, no complicated meal plans, just nothing. Welcome. I'm going to share with you something that has fundamentally transformed my life. Not a diet, not a hack, a complete shift in how I relate to food, to hunger, and to my own body. This is the story of prolonged dry fasting and a single quarter pound of brisket. Let's start with a hard truth. Most of us have spent our entire lives in a dysfunctional relationship with food. We eat when we're happy, we eat when we're sad, we eat when we're bored, we eat because it's noon, and that's what people do at noon. We've been told to eat 6 small meals a day, then we were told intermittent fasting was the answer, then keto, then carnivore, then back to balanced meals. The fitness industry has made billions selling us the idea that the answer is always more. More protein, more supplements, more complexity. But what if the answer is actually less? Today, I'm going to walk you through what prolonged dry fasting actually is and why it's different from everything else. The remarkable science of what happens when you give your body complete rest from food and water. Why I break my extended fasts with just a quarter pound of lean brisket, and how this approach has become not just sustainable but liberating. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about suffering. This is about precision. And when you understand the principles, you'll see why this lifestyle makes everything else feel unnecessarily complicated. Let's begin. Dry fasting is the practice of abstaining from both food and water for a specific period of time. Now, I know what you're thinking. No water? Isn't that dangerous? Here's what most people don't understand. Dry fasting has been practiced by humans for thousands of years. Billions of Muslims observe Ramadan every year, daily dry fasts from dawn to sunset for an entire month. Jews observe Yom Kippur, a 25-hour dry fast. Hindu traditions include Nirjala Ekadashi. Eastern Orthodox Christians have practiced extended dry fasts for centuries. This is not some fringe biohacking experiment. This is ancient wisdom that modern science is only now beginning to validate. There are two approaches to dry fasting. Soft dry fasting means you avoid consuming water, but you allow external contact. You can shower, brush your teeth, wash your hands. Most people doing extended dry fasts choose this method. Hard dry fasting means complete avoidance of water, both internally and externally. No showers, no contact with water whatsoever. This intensifies the effects but is typically reserved for shorter durations. For my extended fasts, and we're talking 5, 7, even 10 days, I practice soft dry fasting. It's practical, sustainable, and still remarkably powerful. Here's where it gets fascinating. When you stop consuming both food and water, your body undergoes a remarkable transformation. Phase 1. Glycogen depletion, which happens in the first 0 to 24 hours. Your body first burns through stored glycogen, that's sugar stored in your liver and muscles. Here's the key. Each gram of glycogen holds 3 to 4 grams of water. So as glycogen depletes, you'll notice initial water weight loss. This is normal. This is expected. Phase 2, ketosis activation, which happens between 12 and 36 hours. Without water intake, ketosis begins faster than in water fasting. Your liver starts converting fatty acids into ketone bodies. These ketones become your brain's primary fuel source. Mental clarity often increases dramatically during this phase. Phase 3, metabolic water production, which begins at 24 hours and beyond. This is the magic. Your body begins producing its own water internally. When fat is oxidized, it releases H2O. For every 100 grams of fat burned, approximately 110 milliliters of water is produced. Your body becomes a self-sustaining system. It's using your fat stores not just for energy but for hydration. This is why extended dry fasting is possible and why it accelerates fat loss so dramatically. Phase 4, deep autophagy, which kicks in at 48 hours and beyond. Autophagy, literally self-eating, accelerates dramatically. Your body begins breaking down damaged proteins, dysfunctional organelles, even some pathogens. Cellular cleanup goes into overdrive. Research suggests that 1 day of dry fasting may be equivalent to 2 to 3 days of water fasting in terms of autophagy and metabolic effects. Let me say that again because it's important. 1 day of dry fasting can produce metabolic effects equivalent to 2 to 3 days of water fasting. This isn't a small difference. This is a multiplier effect. The absence of external water forces your body to work harder, engage deeper repair mechanisms, and accelerate the entire process. This is why extended dry fasting produces results that seem almost impossible to people who haven't experienced it. Let's talk about what actually happens when you commit to prolonged dry fasting. Accelerated fat loss. When there's no external water, your body must produce metabolic water. The only way to do that efficiently is to burn fat. Your body becomes a fat-burning machine not by choice, but by necessity. And because insulin levels drop rapidly and stay low, there's nothing blocking access to your fat stores. Your body has full, unimpeded access to its energy reserves. People who practice extended dry fasting regularly often report fat loss that seems to defy conventional calorie mathematics. And it's not water weight, it's actual adipose tissue being consumed and converted into energy and hydration. Cellular regeneration and autophagy. Your body is constantly accumulating cellular damage. Misfolded proteins, dysfunctional mitochondria, cellular debris. In a constantly fed state, there's no time or energy to clean this up. Dry fasting flips the switch. With no incoming resources, your body turns its attention inward. It begins identifying and recycling damaged components. Weak cells are eliminated. Healthy cells are preserved. It's a kind of biological quality control that only happens in deep fasting states. Some researchers believe this is why fasting has been associated with longevity across so many cultures and species. It's not about eating less over time, it's about periodically giving the body complete rest to repair and regenerate. Mental clarity and focus. Here's something that surprises almost everyone who tries extended dry fasting: the mental clarity. You'd expect to feel foggy, weak, unable to think. The opposite often happens. Once your brain fully transitions to ketones for fuel, many people report heightened focus, emotional stability, and a kind of mental stillness that's hard to describe. The constant noise of hunger, of food decisions, of eating and digesting, all of that goes quiet. And in that silence, there's remarkable clarity. I've done some of my best thinking, my best creative work during extended dry fasts, not despite the fast, because of it. Inflammation reduction. Chronic inflammation is at the root of almost every modern disease: heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, even depression has inflammatory components. Dry fasting appears to be one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory interventions available. When you're not eating, you're not introducing inflammatory triggers. When you're in deep ketosis, ketone bodies themselves have anti-inflammatory properties. When autophagy is active, inflammatory debris is being cleared. People with chronic inflammatory conditions often report significant improvement after incorporating extended dry fasting. Joint pain decreases, skin conditions improve, brain fog lifts. This isn't a supplement you take. This is giving your body the conditions it needs to heal itself. Metabolic reset. Perhaps the most profound benefit is the metabolic reset. Years of frequent eating, processed foods, and blood sugar swings can leave your metabolism dysregulated. Insulin resistance develops. Hunger signals become unreliable. Your body forgets how to efficiently access stored energy. Extended dry fasting resets this entire system. Insulin sensitivity is restored. Hunger hormones recalibrate. Your body remembers how to be fat adapted, how to thrive on its own resources. After breaking an extended dry fast, many people find that their relationship with food has fundamentally changed. Cravings diminish. Appetite becomes manageable. The desperate need to eat constantly simply disappears. So here's the critical question that most fasting protocols get wrong. What happens when you break the fast? Most failures in fasting-focused lifestyles don't happen during the fast. They happen when the fast ends, when food returns, when structure disappears. You've done 5 days, 7 days, 10 days of deep healing, and then you blow it all with an uncontrolled refeed that spikes your insulin, reactivates your appetite, and makes your next fast exponentially harder. This is where the concept of signaling changes everything. Here's the paradigm shift. In a conventional eating model, food is fuel. You eat to give your body energy. In a fasting focus model, food becomes information. When you eat after a long dry fast, your body isn't asking how many calories are coming. It's asking, what should I preserve? What should I discard? Is scarcity ending or continuing? The food you choose sends a biological signal, and that signal determines whether you maintain momentum or lose it. This is why I don't refeed. I signal. After prolonged fasting, your body is running survival logic. Fat, expendable. your body will happily burn fat all day. Muscle, conditionally expendable. If you don't signal that muscle matters, your body may start breaking it down for amino acids. Protein intake determines which path your body chooses. A sufficient protein dose activates muscle preservation pathways, signals that physical structure matters, and prevents excessive lean tissue breakdown. This is why my signaling meal is pure protein. No carbs to spike insulin, no fat to extend digestion unnecessarily, just a clear, unambiguous message: preserve muscle, continue the metabolic state, stay in fat burning mode. And this brings us to the quarter pound of brisket. Why brisket? Why this specific food? Why this specific amount? Because it meets every requirement perfectly. It's protein dense. A quarter pound of lean brisket delivers roughly 25 to 30 grams of high quality animal protein, enough to cross the muscle preservation threshold. It's satiating. Unlike chicken or fish, brisket produces strong satiety. You eat it and you're done. There's no lingering hunger, no desire for more. It's simple to portion. A quarter pound is precise. No guessing, no negotiating, no just a little more. It's boring, and this is crucial. Brisket without sauce, without sides, is intentionally unexciting. It doesn't stimulate dopamine. It doesn't trigger cravings for more. It's functional, not entertaining. The quarter pound sits in a very specific zone. Too little and you fail to signal. Your body doesn't receive the preservation message. Muscle breakdown may continue. Too much and you restart feeding behavior. Appetite cycles reactivate. Insulin stays elevated longer. The next fast becomes harder. The quarter pound is the minimum effective dose. It delivers sufficiency without abundance. It speaks clearly and then gets out of the way. This is precision eating, not restriction, not deprivation, precision. Let me give you the complete signaling protocol. 1. Eat once. One eating event. No grazing, no second meal. The door opens, you signal, the door closes. 2. Eat early. I finish eating at least 4 to 6 hours before my next dry fast begins. This allows digestion to complete cleanly, no reflux, no sleep disruption. The fast starts from a neutral state. 3. Eat simply, lean brisket only, no sauce. Sauce adds sugar and dopamine stimulation. No sides. Sides extend eating and increase volume. No dessert, no exceptions. 4. Stop before full. I'm looking for warm and grounded, not stuffed. The goal is signal delivery, not satiation. Fullness is unnecessary. 5. Sit upright and close the loop. After eating, I remain upright for a while. I let digestion proceed. Then the loop closes and fasting begins again. People ask me, don't you get bored eating the same thing? Yes. And that's the point. Variety stimulates dopamine. Dopamine drives craving, repetition, overeating, bargaining. Just one more bite, just a little dessert. I earned it. Monotony shuts that loop down. When food becomes boring, anticipation disappears, emotional attachment fades, and novelty seeking stops. You eat because it's time to signal, not because you're excited about food, not because you're seeking pleasure. The meal becomes functional, mechanical, clean. And here's what's fascinating: this isn't deprivation, it's freedom. Freedom from the constant mental chatter about food, freedom from decisions, freedom from negotiation. The boredom is not a bug, it's the entire point. Here's what took me the longest to understand. This lifestyle isn't about eating at all. It's about not eating. Fasting is the baseline. Eating is the exception, the brief, precise exception that maintains the system. Most people structure their lives around meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner, social eating, emotional eating, scheduled eating. Their entire day revolves around food. In a fasting-focused lifestyle, food recedes into the background. It's handled, solved, no longer a variable. And when food stops being entertainment, fasting stops being difficult. I'm not playing a short game here. I'm not trying to lose 10 pounds for a vacation. I'm not doing a 30-day challenge. I'm building a sustainable system for the rest of my life. Over the course of a year, hundreds of fasted days accumulate, dozens of signaling meals pass, and small mistakes compound. But so does precision. The brilliance of this protocol is that it minimizes the surface area for error. Nothing sneaks in, nothing escalates, nothing derails momentum. Day after day, week after week, month after month, the system runs itself. I've distilled everything into what I call the Brisket Creed. These are the rules I follow when emotion, hunger, boredom, or temptation try to renegotiate my path. Food is a signal, not a reward. I fast by default. Eating is the exception. I eat once, early and simply. The quarter pound is enough. I do not negotiate with hunger. I reject variety. Boredom is discipline. I protect the fast that comes next. When uncertain, less, earlier, simpler. This creed is not motivation, it's structure, and structure is what makes long-term consistency possible. Let me tell you what this lifestyle has given me. Not just fat loss, though that happened, not just mental clarity, though that's remarkable, not just improved health markers, though those improve too. What this lifestyle gave me is freedom. Freedom from the constant negotiation with food, freedom from the roller coaster of hunger and satiation, freedom from the mental bandwidth that eating consumes. When you're not constantly thinking about your next meal, planning your next meal, recovering from your last meal, there's space. Space for focus, space for creativity, space for life. The quarter pound of brisket isn't a restriction, it's a liberation. It's the minimum input required to maintain the system that sets me free. I'm not here to tell you this is the only way. I'm not here to tell you this is easy, especially at first. I'm not here to tell you this is right for everyone, but I am here to tell you that it's possible. It's possible to have a relationship with food that isn't driven by craving, by emotion, by habit. It's possible to fast for extended periods and feel better, not worse. It's possible to break those fasts with precision and maintain momentum indefinitely. If you've been searching for something that actually works, something sustainable, something that doesn't require constant willpower, this might be it. I'll leave you with the principle that guides everything. Fast deeply. Go into the extended fast with intention. Let your body do its work. Trust the process. Signal briefly. When it's time to eat, eat with precision. Deliver the message. Close the loop. Return cleanly. Step back into the fast without residue. No bloating, no regret, no negotiation. And let the simplicity do the work. Thank you for your time. If this resonated with you, I invite you to explore further, to experiment carefully, and to discover what's possible when you stop seeing food as the center of your life and start seeing clarity as your natural state. Fast deeply, signal briefly, return cleanly. For more information, detailed protocols, and my complete dry fasting course, visit the website linked below. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who might benefit. Until next time, stay disciplined, stay focused, and trust the process.